Welcome back. It is Bus Picks, episode 48. My name is
48.
Dio. This is Don.
How we doing?
And the Dodgers are World Series champions.
Yeah.
It's been 2 weeks since we recorded our last episode. I went to Hawaii. That was amazing. And then we both got sick. Don's still fighting it. You're doing your
last
best.
day. I should be fine tomorrow, but yeah, we're fighting through some colds. We're doing good.
We're back. So I went to the parade. Quick rundown. It was amazing.
Yep.
Most people I've ever been around, ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. By far. And I've been to many, many festivals. It was insane. One of the most memorable championships I've ever been a part of. And I'm officially a winner. I average one championship every 2.6 years of my life.
Wow, that's not bad.
Officially a winner.
That's pretty good.
Don, how was your perspective of the World Series as a Yankees fan?
I mean, honestly, like disappointing that we lost, but after the first couple games, it wasn't our World Series to win. It felt like Judge needed to definitely step up more. His bat just fell silent. Too many defensive mistakes. They played way too sloppy, and you saw that in Game 5 with letting the Dodgers back in after being up 5-0. Like it was a rough one to watch.
My take on the Yankees is the sky is not falling.
No.
Every single sports commentator is like, fire and Boone. Aaron Judge didn't show up. Hey, this is their first time being here in 15 years. It took the Dodgers a little bit to realize, like, hey, you play a little bit different in the World Series. It's the pressure's at 1,000 instead of just 10.
And if they keep Stanton, they have a shot at running it back. Like, this isn't like Garrett
And
Cole
Soto.
already re-signed, Soto staying. Like, I think
We don't know if Soto's staying yet.
I'm saying if they stay, if Stanton and Soto stay, because Cole's already locked up.
Yeah.
Like, there's a good shot to come back. I'm not too concerned for the long term, but it's definitely heartbreaking that you had some very absent-minded plays.
It just felt like it was the Dodgers this year, even though it was like they weren't at full strength, and it did feel like, all right, the Ohtani ad, and then like Valenzuela RIP, but he passes away
right before Game 1. Like, it was just
8th championship in 2024, 8/24. That's Kobe Bryant. There's a bunch of
things
stuff
lined up too well.
Yeah, where you're just kind of like, wow, this merch is gonna sell.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, thank you, shout out. I love the Dodgers. Let's get into fact of the day.
Fact of the day, coming off the heels of the Monday night game, I wanted to dig a little bit more into the Buccaneers. Specifically, Doug Martin might have one of the weirdest career stat lines with the team ever.
The muscle hamster.
Yes, sir. 6 years with the Buck. 2
years with the Raiders.
Yeah, 2 years with the Raiders. But looking at his Buccaneers stat lines, he either put up in the 1400s rushing yards or in the 400s. And that was it.
His first 2 years, he popped off, right?
2012, 1454.
Yeah.
2013, 456.
Yeah.
And then
Boise State.
2014, 494. 2015, back up to 1402. 2016, back down to 421. And then 2017, 406. His split line was literally, if he had more than 144 carries, he had 1,400 rushing yards that season. If he had under 144 carries, he was in the 400 rushing yards.
His nickname was literally the muscle hamster. Just keep giving him the ball.
It made no sense. I mean, some of it was injury, without a doubt.
Yeah, I know he was getting hurt a lot.
But the idea that 500 yards was the line of whether or not he'd clear it, and did it so perfectly for 6 years in a row, I don't think any other players had that kind of discrepancy in their career.
I love little weird stats like that. Let's get into some NBA breakdown. The NBA season started. Me and Don have a couple thoughts on what we think is about to go down.
Yeah.
Last year, Don, you correctly predicted that the Celtics were going to get to the finals. You didn't have them winning, but you did have the Celtics.
I didn't
getting
like it. It was a chalky pick.
It's chalky or not, we might get there again.
I know.
Let's get into some NBA breakdown. We got a couple questions that
Sure.
we're going to answer. First off, what teams do you think have the most to lose this year? Teams that have a lot of expectations and have a lot to lose.
I mean, to me, I penciled in the preseason before this first 2 weeks of drama. I penciled in Celtics obviously have the most to lose. Coming back, defending a title, they have something. And then I put the 76ers based on the Paul George move with Maxey popping off. They needed to go all in. Like, this was it. And now with the Embiid issues,
a lot of issues.
Got
suspended for 3 games.
This can be is this the death of the 76er core?
Is this the death of the process?
Yes.
I think the process has been dead for a long time in
I mean, the
Philly.
idea, but this was like the last remaining hope.
I agree with you. Where this is like the 76ers kind of got like 1 or 2 years to be like, all right, figure it out.
Yeah.
Before it's like we got to actually blow it up.
And this feels like the blow it up year. If Embiid is gone, Paul George is not a long-term asset.
And Embiid will be back, and they'll like get in the work.
Well,
I think at the end
they're
of
already
November.
talking if Embiid's going to stay on the team long term.
Yeah,
like that
it's-
conversation's being brought up of
Yeah.
is he here next season?
Same thing with Giannis, which is a team I was going to bring up, but I'm thinking I'm going to
Yeah.
save them for something else. Team I want to talk about is another team in the East, the New York Knicks.
Yes.
I think the New York Knicks went after Karl Anthony Towns, went after Bridges, and all of a sudden we were like, all right, this team's got a lot of firepower. What were the Knicks known for last year?
It was their gritty defense,
Gritty defense.
and they've kind of stepped away from that now.
kind of not good at defense. And Hartenstein's a very good defensive player. Now you got Cat, and you're playing him at center, and you're like, all right, do what you were doing before. Cat don't play defense like that.
Cat's not a 5. There's a reason. Like he never anchored a team
That's
defensively.
the reason why they traded for Gobert.
Yeah.
They were like, you don't play defense. We
Put
got to
Cat
go
on a
get
4.
We got to go get a 4-time defensive player in order to just calibrate what's going on with you.
Yeah.
On top of that, they play Bridges, and Bridges, the way that they're using him, they're just telling him to sit on the wing, catch it, and shoot it, which is not how he runs. I think that the Knicks made a vital mistake. Instead of running it back and trying to keep as much of that core, they tried to add superstar pieces where I think a lot of NBA teams in the past have failed. I think that's what the Knicks just did.
I agree. To me, the big issue is they're not adapting their play style.
That's
like
what it is.
if you're going to bring in star players, that can work sometimes if you overhaul the team culture, and they're trying to get players to fit into a culture that doesn't work. Like the puzzle pieces aren't matching.
Tom Thibodeau's culture is bust your butt. Like
Yeah.
you are going to run, you are going to work hard, and he went after. I like those players.
Yeah, I think they're great assets in other play styles.
Correct. And Brunson, very good player, but like now he's a superstar, and now he's getting superstar money, and like it's a little bit harder to play in Utah on a Tuesday night in November, like your butt off every single game, which is what Tom Thibodeau like. That's what he does. He
Expects.
gets his boys to go,
Yeah.
and then they just can't because like either the threshold of playing at that level is so high, then you get hurt, or you just get burnt out from
Yeah.
playing that hard. It's a
And
long season.
It's a long season. I think Thibodeau's play style is best after the All-Star break.
I agree.
Like getting down,
Get it.
getting gritty, I think is an All-Star break, post-run into the playoffs. That's when this team could start really ramping up, but you're going to burn them out through 82 games like this.
The next thing I want to talk about is the next rising star in the league, a guy that we take shots on, who we think are going to step into that superstar mode. Not just a good player that we think's just going to be better,
Yeah.
a guy who's going to legit be on TV commercials. My pick this year, which is I probably am a little too late, it's Paulo Banchero.
Yeah.
I think he's amazing. I think he's going to make this Orlando team very, very good. Outside of Paulo Banchero, I think guys like Evan Mobley for the Cavaliers, it's about to ascend the Cavaliers. They're undefeated right now. The way that they're playing offense, they're kind of playing point center in a weird way. I really like what the Cavaliers are doing with Evan Mobley. I think those are two guys, to me, that are ready to take that step into superstardom.
I think Paulo has a better shot right now because he did get hurt. He's going to be out
Yeah.
for about a month right now after putting up 50 in a single night.
He's amazing.
I think coming back, like a lot of people are going to sleep on the Magic until he comes back, I
Yeah.
think. So you have a good shot there. For me, I went in some younger guys I think could take the step as, oh, this is the build. Like this
Yeah.
is the year before. For me,
see the
I
meta.
think Zach Edey in a Grizzlies offense is going to be disgusting all year.
Zach
He's
Edey-
already taken those steps forward in the last 2 games. Like we've seen him with double-digit rebounds, double-digit points.
He just works.
He works so hard.
He works his butt off.
And having him in the 5 spot, having Jaren Jackson Jr. in the 4 spot,
Yeah.
I think this Grizzlies team gets back to that grit and grind.
John Morant doing what he does. Did you see the other day? He went for like a full
360 layup
Dunk.
twice.
John Morant, at the end of the day, we're going to be putting up highlight compilations of his career. He might not win anything. They might be bad forever. But John Morant's highlight tape, his mixtape's going to go bananas.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, it's going to be Russell Westbrook-esque. It might be better. I don't know.
I don't know. But I think Edey is going to be that next star, that kind of rumbling with his defensive prowess.
I like it. You actually went after like a rookie. In the end,
I think long term Stephen Castle is somebody I'm very interested in the Spurs. Because his biggest flaw in his game to me was more of his, like, he has an explosive first step. We saw that. He's a defensive lockdown player, can drive the lane, but his main passing ability was driving the lane and kicking the ball out. I think a season under Chris Paul will develop him as a better point. Him and Wemby are going to be nasty on the Spurs in the long term, and I can see that kind of build under Pop as being like the next like face of San Antonio.
Castle, for me, it's going to come down to how much defense he's ever going to be able to play, because now guards are so electric. You do have to play somewhat type of defense, and I think he can get there. And Victor Wembanyama is probably going to be the best defensive player of our lifetime. So we're going to see how that works for that team.
Did you see the highlight the other night with Wemby? He literally slowed down on a fast break to get a better angle for the block.
Dude, there was
like, who thinks of that?
It was him and Rudy Gobert, defensive player of the year last year, 1-on-1. And he takes a drop back. He does a drop step floater from the 3-point line, like a foot off, and just drills it in front of Rudy Gobert.
Yeah,
I was just like, cool. This guy's an alien.
Yeah, it's the year of alien ball.
What is the worst situation this season? What's the situation if you're a fan right now? You're sitting at your home and you're like, I can't believe I have to watch 82 games of this team.
I mean, it could change very quickly.
But
right now, it's the Bucks. With Giannis health issues, like he's already missed a couple games this season. There's already the rumor swirling that he may want out of Milwaukee.
I think those rumors are true.
Either way, it's not a rumor you want circulating about your star player this early in a season.
Not at all. Especially,
Doc Rivers coming out and basically saying he's having a hard time getting this team to play a full game at high intensity.
No way. Doc Rivers is having a hard time coaching a team?
I mean, he's able to be a good.
No, he's
able to be a good regular season coach.
I think he was. I don't think he is.
I mean, either way, I think this is a very make or break point for the Bucks on where the season's going to go in the next couple of weeks, and it does not seem to be trending in the right direction.
I have a little different team. I took the Clippers, the LA Clippers. They opened up their new home Intuit Dome, and they lost in their first game in overtime, which was magic. It was mwah. It was beautiful. I think Kawhi Leonard being out, them losing Paul George, this team is in a purgatory where they have to watch James Harden and Zubac play their butt off. And yeah, they might win some games, but their expectation 2 years ago
was we can flirt with the finals.
We can flirt with the championship. They are not even close, especially in a stacked West. If you're a Clipper fan, which I know a couple of them, every day must suck.
Yeah.
And you're not even in like lottery ball contention because you don't have picks. It's bad.
That's the issue for me is you can convince yourself the future is going to be here if you have picks.
Yeah.
They've sold most of those off.
A bunch of them.
And so I think you need to deal Zubac. You need to deal Harden. Get some of those picks. No one's going to go.
The Harden contract,
no one's going to eat the Harden contract, but you got to figure something out this season and go in full rebuild mode.
Another shout out. I'm not even going to say their name because the second I say their name, they're going to be good. But there's a team in Denver. not looking too great.
Oh my goodness.
What are the wild card teams in the long run, Don? What's a team that's a wild card that you're like, all right, not too many people are buzzing about them. I think they can go in and maybe make a little bit of a maybe not a run, but like surprise some people this season.
I'm calling this. I'm getting back with like the mindset of I'm getting back with my ex. With the issues of the Bucks, the issues of the 76ers. I've bought back in on the Bulls. I shouldn't. I really shouldn't buy back. Lonzo Ball's back. With Giddey, with the move for Giddey.
Yeah.
I mean, because Giddey last year with the Thunder shot 54% off assists from Giddey. When it was a direct pass from Giddey to shoot, the Thunder shot 54%, second highest in the league, just behind LeBron.
Yeah.
Bills last season were 28th ranked in that category. He is going to massively improve this offense. The Bulls want to run a fast break, 7 seconds or less style, push the speed offense. They need a distributor. Giddey can be that guy. I think he unlocks this offense. Their biggest flaw is defense.
The offense.
The biggest, I think, if Williams steps up to be a defender, This team has potential. I'm saying this after how many years have we said the Bulls have potential?
Don, I don't know if I agree with you, but I'm ready to ride with you.
I'm not ready to ride with me. I'm buying in on something I know is not good for. I'm going
It's bad
fifth,
for your mental health.
I'm going fifth plate on the buffet.
Yeah.
Just to get my money's worth right now.
I like
it's
it.
not something I want to do, but it's something I feel like it's all there. The numbers are there. I'm following the numbers. Why does this feel wrong?
Don't feel bad because you believe in a institution like the Bulls should be good. The Bulls should be good. Like for basketball, when the Bulls are good, basketball feels fun and fresh. Do you remember 2010 Derrick Rose, the Bulls?
Yes.
And like Carlos Boozer and like Joakim Noah, and we were just kind of like, damn, this Bulls team's got some like energy.
It has
to
some
them.
filth to it. They can go.
When the Bulls are good, the whole basketball landscape is more fun. I'm sorry, it is, and that's just where I'm at. That you're right, Don. I wish my team was as interesting as the Bulls. I picked the Rockets.
Rockets are sexy though.
I like the Rockets. I kind of like the Rockets not only to make the playoffs, but like to have a top 4 seed in the playoffs. I like what they have. I like a lot of their young pieces. I think this is the year where they can kind of make a run where a lot of their young pieces have enough experience, and a lot of their young pieces that are still gaining experience don't have to do too much. They have a lot of great talented players. Just are they going to fit their rules, and what superstars are going to emerge from them? I think this year they can figure it out with Green and I'm blanking on a bunch of their players, but they have a bunch of really, really good depth pieces that I think in a few years they can turn into an Oklahoma City Thunder-esque team.
Yeah, they have the building blocks there.
Yeah. The last thing, Don, who's your pick for the finals? Right now, last year you did pretty good. This year I went so chalk it's disgusting.
Okay.
I went Celtics Thunder, which I know chalky chalk. But I love the Thunder.
I like the Thunder a lot. I mean Celtics Thunder are the chalky one. I'm really hoping for Knicks Thunder because I think the idea of a Brunson versus like SGA kind of
defensive
battle, like explosive guard, like duel, I think would be incredible to watch personally. That being said, I wouldn't be mad if the Cavs keep this going. I think that'd be hilarious.
I also wanted to
but yeah, I think Knicks Thunder feels like the right one for me.
If you made me like, that's what outside of the chalky pick, if I were to give you like another like, hey, keep your eye out for this, I think getting Denver back in there is something that I can't go back and be like, hey, Jokic is only going to go to 1 finals. I think he'll go to 2.
Yeah.
I think the Nuggets are probably going to figure it out. If they don't, then they don't. But I can see a world where the Nuggets get in and Miami get in, and we get a replay of that finals.
Yeah, that'll be a fun one.
Yeah, that's just a floater.
Yeah, I really just hope it's not Celtics back because I'm liking the idea of the parity we have right now.
Well, we also hate the Celtics.
Well, I mean, 6 seasons in a row, we've had no repeat champions.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's a lot of fun. That brings a lot of parity to the league, a lot more excitement season in, season out.
But a lot of people are watching the league because of it. Well, we're about to start the in-season tournament, so maybe that'll get some eyes going.
Yeah, that'll get some eyes there.
Let's get into replay review. We're going to go through some of last week's biggest games, give you our takes on them, what happened last week in NFL Week 9. We start with Thursday Night Football, Texans versus the New York Jets. And the Texans might have a quarterback issue. CJ Stroud might not be that guy. Only completed 10 passes on a very, very, very bad New York Jets team. Now their defense is good, but
their defense is very good. I think the biggest issue was they only had Tank Dell healthy out of their starting 3 receivers.
John Minchie is a pretty good receiver, and Woods is a good receiver.
Robert Woods is a journeyman at this point for a reason.
Joe Mixon is great at catching the ball, and Dalton Schultz is healthy.
Yeah, but I'm saying if your number one is taken away by Sauce, which Dell was still able to produce.
Look, my whole thing was CJ Stroud was getting put in this top 5 conversation very quickly.
Yes.
You give those exact same weapons to Patrick Mahomes, they're winning a Super Bowl. You give those exact same weapons to Lamar Jackson, he's getting in the playoffs. Josh Allen doesn't have as good as weapons as he has right now.
You don't think
without Amari Cooper?
Okay, I was going to say with Amari Cooper there,
but like that
I think
team, kind of similar to what the Bills are working with.
I think they're a similar category. I think with Nico coming back, this offense just jumps again. Stroud needs options at this point in his career. He's still very, very young.
He's very young.
And the head coaching is, like, for the coaching overall, is not an offensive-minded team.
Yeah,
they are still we're defense first. If our offense is explosive, great. We need to focus on our defense.
Did the Jets winning this game change your mind about anything about the New York Jets? Because you've been very down on the Jets. I've been a little bit more positive. I've kind of reeled it back a little bit. Where are you at with the Jets?
I mean, this is the first game where I think Rodgers was finally pushing the ball downfield a little bit more. Like, he felt more confident in the deeper ball than I've seen him in other weeks.
Are you expecting this to be a trend down the line?
I think this will, because I guess it took 2 weeks for Devontae to really integrate into this offense.
As it probably should. Like, we were probably asking way too much for him to be ready in like 5 days.
I mean, considering it was an offense he was familiar with, I didn't think it was too much to ask, but I could see what you're saying there. For me, I think this offense will start pushing the ball downfield. My biggest issue still is the idea that they're not running the ball as much as I think they need to.
Why? They probably have they have a top 7 running back duo in the league.
Yes.
Their offensive line's not great, but like what Breece Hall should be getting the ball like 30 times a game. And like Braylon Allen, you can give him 10 touches a game. Like they should be running.
Breece Hall cleared over 80 yards.
Yeah.
15 carries, 4.9 a carry. And they limited him to only 15.
I guess they're trying to
Joe
keep him healthy
Mixon
for
still
not
had
making the playoffs.
25 carries last game.
He's awesome, though.
He's a workhorse. Braylon Allen only had 9. They had less combined carries out of that backfield where they had the lead than Joe Mixon did on a team that was down.
Yeah.
Like, that makes no sense to me from a play calling perspective at all. If you have the lead and you have 2 explosive backs who can take over a game, why are you not utilizing them in that way versus you're pushing Rodgers to start throwing a lot of outside passes?
Yeah, it's tough. You don't want to rely on Aaron Rodgers passing the ball so much. I think the Jets team will correct it in a very weak AFC, bottom heavy. There's 1 or 2 spots in the AFC that are kind of just up for grabs in the wild card spot.
Yeah.
I always, in the playoff predictor, I said the Jets were going to steal it with a bad record. I can see that still happening.
I could see that. Miami's still a team to watch out for in my mind.
I think Miami's dead. I think Miami's never been more dead.
I think that they could flirt and get 500 and make it somehow.
They have 2 wins.
Jets only have 3.
Do they really?
This was Jets' 3rd win.
Yeah, Colts have 4. We're going to talk about them in a bit. Saints versus Panthers.
Goodbye, Dennis Allen.
I don't. Dennis Allen is my bust of the week. So I guess I'll do my bust of the week right now.
Sure, go after it.
I've never been more right about any situation than I have been about the Saints. Those first 2 weeks, introduce motion, but motion can only save you so much. Then once you're forced to actually come up with really good coaching decisions or just mediocre ones, you can't live up to it. Now, I get it. You had a backup quarterback a few games. That sucks. But you had Derek Carr ready to go against the Panthers, and I get it. Chris Olave died on the field. I hope he makes a speedy recovery.
I'm kind of blaming Carr on that. We've seen
we are all blaming Carr on that.
Okay, yeah, because we've seen Tom Brady multiple times in it, like as stagnant as his commentating can be at times. He has been getting better.
Yeah.
The biggest thing he's harped on, and the biggest thing he's done is just like a personality before the season. Quarterback's job is to make sure you're not putting receivers in dangerous situations. That was one of the most dangerous passes Carr could have thrown.
He continuously does it.
And he does it. And that's my biggest. Carr is a starting quarterback in the NFL.
I don't think so.
Talent-wise, I think he's there. He does distribute the ball well. But he has this crazy issue where he will not throw an open receiver that has his tightest window at risk for their health.
He likes to force passes to his number 1 receiver.
Doesn't make sense.
He's been doing it.
It's better to throw the ball away in that situation and play another down. I think that was you had Kamara for over 200 all-purpose yards that game.
Kamara's awesome.
You had Taysom Hill explode back on this offense, being the gadget guy that he is. You win this game if Olave is healthy.
For sure. But they don't. Dennis Allen gets fired. Bryce Young plays an okay game. Throws a pick that I know no one else watched this pick, but I bet my number 1 bet of the week was Bryce Young to throw a pick. Bryce Young threw a pick.
Yeah, that was
He got the ball
given.
snatched from him.
That should not have been.
It shouldn't have been. Other than that, played a pretty good game.
Yeah.
The end of the road is not there for Bryce Young yet. I'm ready to say that.
I think
In a class where rookie or in a class where quarterbacks are getting given up on too prematurely, I hope Bryce Young gets another shot.
I want him off the Panthers. I think he's just not in a good situation. They need to blow the team up down to the studs.
You got anything else in this game?
Not much. I mean, It's just Bryce Young, third career win. Great for them. Saints need today's a trade deadline. Saints have only moved Marshawn Lattimore, and they need to do more.
I think they're selling. It's over. The trade deadline finished as of 6:00 today.
Yeah, but it was like you have pieces you can go sell off right now, that are valuable items to other, like the fact that like DeMario is still there.
Yeah, but he's old. He's like 36. He gets paid a lot. No one wants to eat that contract, and then the Saints are probably just like, well, retire you as Saint. Cameron Jordan. I get what you were saying. They probably should have shipped off. You want Alvin Kamara gone. You want a few of these guys like to go play meaningful football.
Well, I'm saying because you had the Bills do that with Von Miller.
Yeah,
we'll leave Von Miller's contract. We need a pass rush guy that will just take us that extra ounce over the edge. Cam Jordan and DeMario will be those guys. The fact that you were only able to sell off one, and they didn't even get that big of a return.
Yeah, they were never going to.
Like for Lattimore, they got a fifth, they moved Lattimore and a fifth for third, fourth, and sixth.
No bueno.
Like that's not what a number one corner is worth in this league.
Not at all.
And that's not worth the cap situation you are going to have for the next few years. This was the time to start your rebuild right now because you're not going to get anything for any of those guys in the offseason.
No. Well,
not as much as you can go get for contenders right now.
I'm happy that the Saints have officially been like, we're going to rebuild, which is good because it's something that they should have done.
They needed to do
7 years ago when Drew Brees retired.
Yeah,
but too little, too late. Let's get into the Eagles versus Jaguars. I don't have too much to talk about this game except for, wow, Saquon Barkley might be the most talented running back we've ever seen play football.
Saquon's a freak of nature, but he's kind of it to me. This Eagles team is like they are 6-2, and I'm still disappointed.
AJ Brown will be back.
AJ Brown's, but he's not the issue. Devontae had a crazy catch. He's not the issue. It's the idea that you have Lawrence throw for 2 interceptions.
Yeah,
you are up 22-0 with 5 minutes left in the third, and the game ends 28-23.
Oh yeah, as a guy who live bet the Jaguars, I was ready to go. I was locked in.
There is not. Like, the Eagles are doing the worst impression of the Chiefs because Chiefs are winning ugly games, but there's not really a doubt that they're going to win that ugly game. Eagles are winning ugly games, and you're just sitting there like, how are they doing this? It makes no sense.
They're still 6-2. Like, at the end of the day, like, yeah, it's not perfect, but, like, no one plays perfect football in this league.
No one
not
plays.
Even the Ravens. Like, the Ravens did this week because they're the Ravens. But
they don't have that convincing... World be like, this was a perfect game, and Jags only have 2 wins. This was the perfect game to go, okay, I know things have been rough. I know our coach is on the hot seat for a little bit. Put the pedal to the metal, put our stamp on it, run it up by over 30.
Eagles are a good team. They're just not otherworldly like people feel the Lions are or the Chiefs are or the Ravens are. But they are still and will continue to be a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah,
they are.
I guess my point is just we're expecting them to take that next step to be otherworldly. With the weapons they have, there's the ability.
I understand.
I think the play calling is holding this team back dramatically.
I agree. I just don't know if the ceiling is as high as people really think it is. I think maybe the ceiling is a little bit lower than people really think it is.
I think the ceiling is you could put up 35 on the Jags.
Yes,
and
I agree.
That's my expectation.
I agree with you. They should have been able to score more than the Colts were able to score against the Jags.
That makes no sense.
Yeah,
that makes no sense.
Rams Seahawks. The Seahawks are going to fall criminal to multiple times this year of losing to just games that they should win. There's multiple times where I'm like, come on, Seahawks, and they're just going to continuously heartbreak loss after heartbreak loss.
Yeah.
And Geno's going to eventually become the head that the axe eventually falls on. But this Rams team is back alive.
Yeah, with Cooper and Puka there, this offense has exploded again.
I'm very excited to see. I'm a Sean McVay fan. I like the Rams. I'm from Los Angeles. I root for the Rams when I'm not rooting for the Colts. I really, really enjoy them. Puka Nacua got ejected from this game, but They got other weapons. Everything kind of feels like it's gelling for the Rams.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the Rams going forward? Would you sprinkle a little, maybe like win the division money on them?
I think Rams and Cardinals in that division are scary teams moving forward. The momentum's on their side. This offense is fully exploding for the Rams here. I don't think that Puka. Maybe a controversial take. I don't know. This is my first time floating it by anybody.
I haven't said it out loud either.
I don't think you should get ejected for throwing a punch unless it lands.
I agree, Don.
Like, if you just, because we've seen players throw one in the air, that's the equivalent of what Puka did. Like, if you whiff, you should just live with that embarrassment.
Yeah, I think that's like enough. Like, maybe we put a dunce cap on him or like a guardian cap. But like, I don't know, man. The Puka ejection just felt weak to me the whole entire time.
The fact that they had to call it in too. It wasn't even an on-field decision. I think it came from New York to call in.
I was like, yeah, we got to get rid of him.
And it's like, that is not a call that you guys should be making. Like, there's so many other calls that the New York office could have called in on any game this week, and that's the one you chose to use it on. Was really?
Don continues Refgate. It's week 10 of Refgate for Don.
Oh, I'm going to talk about it in a second. I'm going to talk about it the next game. But
well, let's get into the next game then. That's the Colts versus Vikings. That's the next game you want to talk about it?
So, how we treat Lamar and his legs. That he won't ever get a roughing the passer call because it's just always like he can break the pocket and run. Mm-hmm. That's just how the refs treat Lamar. Mm-hmm. That's going to happen.
It's not right.
It's not right, but that's just what we expect. I'm thinking we're forming the narrative. We're treating it the same way for Sam Darnold and his head.
Yeah, dude.
Like, this has been egregious. Face masks, head hit. Like, the fact that the refs threw a flag going, hey, he got hit in the head, and then picked it up and said no call is wild. Like, they are really just treating Sam Darnold's head as like, it doesn't matter.
I think the Vikings are slowly showing you, not slowly, they're showing you they're not dominant. They're not going to win this division. The Lions got it.
Yeah.
The Colts should have beaten them. I'll start with the Vikings. Justin Jefferson's the best receiver in football.
Without a doubt.
Close. He's amazing.
Yes.
What he does is otherworldly. He's Calvin Johnson, Larry Fitzgerald-esque. He's awesome.
Just consistent greatness.
The Vikings defense is so impressive and so extremely adventurous and like doing concepts that I'm like, oh, I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you can show that blitz concept and then, oh my God, we're rushing only 3. Like, it's crazy what they're doing.
I don't think it's that out of pocket.
I think it's just so fun and fresh. But like so to the core of what football is.
The only time it's effective to me, like the only time the Vikings defense has made consistent great stops, have forced turnovers, is when they were blitzing.
Yeah,
early season they were blitzing more than anyone else in the league, and that's when they were on their dominant tear.
Yeah,
I feel that showing showing 8 on the line and only rushing 3, like. That like Ravens have pulled that for years.
Well, yeah, Ravens are also one of like the sexy, fun defensive teams.
But I think the flip side is the Vikings are getting too cute now because teams are expecting them to blitz. So the idea of like, oh, we're not going to. You had Joe Flacco being able to throw the ball. Like, yes, he had some issues. Yes, he had some issues.
a lot of issues.
But like we saw last week, Stafford was able to carve this defense up when they're not blitzing consistently. Like, this is a one-trick pony defense in my mind until proven otherwise. I am not scared of this team until they get back to blitzing consistently.
I want to get into the Colts. The Colts made the decision to sit Anthony Richardson, who has been playing bad as a Colts fan. I can admit that. He's been bad after only 10 starts, which is insane. But Jim Irsay made the decision. He thinks that this Colts team can make the playoffs, which they can.
Yeah, they can go flirt with
under
it.
Joe Flacco, he's like, we can actually get in the playoffs. Joe Flacco has shown before that he can have a competent offense. So when it was time to show the world what this Joe Flacco offense could do, what did they do, Don? Nothing.
A lot of turnovers.
Not only turnovers, Joe Flacco missing wide open first downs, not even reading defense. I guess I can only blame it on what was a really good Vikings defense. And I'm not saying Anthony Richardson would have been better, but I know for a damn fact Anthony Richardson could have come up with 3 points, which is what Joe Flacco did. They came up with 3 offensive points, 0 snaps in the red zone. Anthony Richardson has done nothing to be put in a position where he shouldn't be starting. He should 100% be the starter of this team. They should be riding or dying. They should know that this is a sacrificial season because they didn't get it last year. He's had 10 starts. That is insane. Anthony Richardson should be leading this team forward. Free AR. I'm tired of seeing Joe Flacco. Go send him somewhere else and let him be a hazard on someone else's team. Right now, I want the Colts dying with Anthony Richardson. And then next year, this upcoming offseason, we can decide what that decision is going to be. But for now, it should be develop this kid.
See, I think, to me personally, I think he would develop better being the bench guy,
because he has no gameplay. He's not played football. That's the biggest issue. It's not the mental. He's making the right reads. He's just not catching up to the speed.
It's the accuracy. It's not even the speed. He is missing receivers by miles.
Correct, because of the speed. He's not used to how everything is moving, how fast everything moves. So his answer out of it is throwing it 100 miles an hour because that's what he thinks can get it there.
But to me, we've seen when he's in games, he has been hurt quite often.
He's been hurt. He's missed all of last year pretty much. This year missed one game. Missed one game.
Yeah.
Got hurt in one game.
Yeah, got knocked out of one, hurt in another, missed almost all of last season.
Yeah.
He's missed more games than he's played.
Yes, he's played 10 games.
Yeah, he's missed more games than he's played because when he cannot hit passes consistently, he tucks the ball and uses his body.
Yeah, well,
and it's not even that he uses his legs. He drops the shoulder on guys.
Yeah, and more than that, he's like not even confident in running the ball anymore, which is like really bad.
No, so I think having him sit and develop his touch for a year, having him sit for a while and develop his accuracy better
22.
so he could get... No, he is 22.
He's only 22, yeah.
Yeah, so I think letting him have time to develop before putting him out against grown men who are going to consistently hurt him more, I think is a better idea for his long-term health and long-term development.
I think he got too big in the offseason. He was like telling people...
He was way too hyped up.
He was way... Not in terms of hype, I mean like weight. He was like 265 going into camp. Maybe get that down to 245, like 240.
That'll be so much better.
It'll be good. Look at Lamar. He slimmed down. He realized like, hey, it's about cardio. It's about keeping those legs good. As a Colts fan...
be taking those hits.
As a Colts fan, I'm sad. It's been tough, but... we are consistently the most average team across all of football history. If there's one team to bet on going 8-1, it's us. And what I expect from the Colts is exactly what I expect from every Chris Ballard-esque team that the Colts have had, and that's us being the wild card conversation until week 17 or 18 when we eventually dookie in our pants and it's all over for us. So this year I get to root for Joe Flacco doing it. That's where I'm at.
Okay.
Yeah. Last game of the day, it is the Chiefs versus Broncos. Chiefs versus Buccaneers. They played Monday Night Football. Baker Mayfield playing his butt off with damn near nobody. K-Dot touchdowns, just doing his best. Rashad White running his butt off. And then there's just like this Chiefs team that you're like, this is the ugliest team I've ever watched play football somehow win. It's awesome.
Yeah. I put this loss completely on Todd Bowles.
I disagree.
I don't know how you could have your offense carve a Chiefs defense up, march down and score the game-tying touchdown, and then go, we're going to let it go to chance and go to the coin toss. You need to go for two in that situation. Because if the Chiefs get the ball, it's 50-50. Chiefs get the ball, you lose.
Correct.
Your defense has been run on all night. Mahomes is damn near perfect when it comes to overtime. Versus trust your offense that just got you all the way down there, and trust Baker to get it done. Like that's what you put into the game-winning situation. He proved it. Run the play, control your own destiny.
Here's my other thing: they had 31 seconds on the Chiefs side with 2 timeouts.
Yeah.
If you're telling me they get the 2-point conversion, there's 100% guarantee that the Chiefs go down the field and kick a field goal. That's a word. I can 100% guarantee that because the Chiefs do that.
I like those odds better than sending it to OT.
I don't. In OT, like you said, it's a coin flip, and I get my whole defense on the field in 10 minutes for 2 timeouts. Even the metrics were like, hey, do this. I think Todd Bowles is in an impossible spot where any commentator and any person on the couch gets to be like, well, I would have went for 2 there. it doesn't matter that. What matters is he went with the decision that he went with.
Yeah.
His team had 7 defensive snaps to try to stop them, and they couldn't. It was just Patrick Mahomes being the best quarterback on the planet.
Yeah, I mean, the Bucs defense did step up more than I thought they were going to in this game. 4 sacks was incredible.
Getting to Patrick Mahomes is hard.
Yeah.
And hurting Patrick Mahomes is even harder.
What was that?
Okay, so I think he tore his Achilles, but then Taylor Swift did black magic voodoo, and she's like, I need to sell more records. And his Achilles magically repaired itself.
I thought it was like a hip issue. I don't know.
I thought
the way
he
his
broke
leg
his hip,
buckled, I wasn't sure.
Every tendon in his knee and his ankle just did a pinwheel like an old kazoo. But no, none of that happened. He threw a touchdown he handed the ball off to Kareem Hunt for a touchdown.
Yeah, I'm like, how are you getting medical staff to walk you off the field hurt, and then you just go, no, never mind, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Like, that just felt like, was it for the drama? What was going on?
I would say there's 2 teams in the AFC outside of the Chiefs that have legitimate Super Bowl chances. That's the Bills and that's the Ravens. No surprise.
Yeah.
Whoever plays the Chiefs in that second round, no matter what, is going to lose. You got to catch them in the AFC Championship game. That's it.
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah.
We still got a few weeks to get
That's
there.
just where I'm at mentally. Don, bust of the week. I already gave mine. Mine was Dennis Allen. So
mine is the Raiders organization.
Oh, beautiful.
Like, you bench Minshew again and bring in Ritter, which I don't understand that
Desmond Ritter's bad.
Desmond Ritter's bad. He's bad.
Desmond Ritter couldn't throw to Drake London and make Bijan Robinson and Kyle Pitts look good. What makes you think he's going to make that Raiders offense look anything?
Jacoby Myers.
Yeah.
And then you cut your offensive coordinator, you cut your O-line coach, and you cut your QB coach. Because how do we solve a rough offense? Cutting apart and filling gaps in the coaching staff midway through a season. That's how we improve a team.
I don't think you're paying attention to what the Raiders are really doing.
And then they brought in the legend himself, Norv Turner.
Love Norv Turner.
To be an advisor because they got Scott Turner, his son, to be the new offensive coordinator.
Yeah, the Raiders are 100% in position to just burn the team down.
Yeah.
AP is going to get fired.
Yeah, he's gone.
They want to have the top pick in the draft, and they want to go get Shedeur Sanders. Every time the Raiders lose, Shedeur Sanders tweets out.
And I don't think he's the answer for this team.
Doesn't matter. Get ready for primetime in LV. Get ready for Shedeur in Las Vegas.
And that's going to be way too much. It's going to be too much off-field
Whether
stuff.
It's too much or not,
too much.
That's
what the team's moving for. That's what they're chasing. I understand.
Get ready. Lock in. And then we'll have plenty of busts of the week for the Raiders, Don. It'll be beautiful.
This team needs to figure it out.
They're done for the year.
Yeah, they're cooked.
Raiders
completely
are done.
cooked.
Yeah. Let's get into Play Ball, where we're going to make a couple picks on the upcoming games next week. Play Ball brought to you by Donovan's Basement. Donovan's Basement. You ever want a time to get trapped and hang out and do nothing? Donovan's Basement's always there for you. Play Ball. Bengals, Ravens. Don, you got the Thursday Night Football game. How you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. Ravens are bringing out the specialty jerseys for this one. We know.
What are you getting?
I think we're doing the electric purples is what I saw, which is going to be interesting.
I want the black, the all black.
No,
the shield.
Yeah, like the Night Will Descend jerseys would be awesome. No, this is a big game because Ravens are a half game behind the Steelers right now for a divisional lead.
Weird, huh?
Bengals are sitting below 500, but only 2 games behind. Big divisional game. This is going to be a crazy sloppy mess, how these divisional games always go, in my opinion. T. Higgins, I think, is the biggest player to watch coming in, considering he's been sitting out. He's trending to sitting out again this week from what I've heard, but we won't know practice reports until tomorrow.
I thought he was tomorrow. Traded.
There was talks he was going to get dealt pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So who knows what's going on with the Bengals there. To me, the biggest bet I like in this one is Deontay Johnson over 20.5 receiving yards.
Didn't play it a lot last week, though.
He had 15 offensive snaps.
Yeah.
That was to be expected. John Harbaugh basically said we're going to give him between 15 and 20.
Yeah.
Wasn't targeted much. I think almost at all. He didn't have a catch.
I don't think he had any targets.
Which is fine. It takes he was only with the team for 5 days building into that game. He's been there for a week now, knows the playbook.
You don't need him right now.
We need him for this game.
Yeah, Rashad Bateman, you can't have him keep dropping balls. Like, you need someone else. I feel like I keep going after Rashad Bateman. He doesn't deserve that.
Go after Nelson Aguilar.
Yeah, I'll go after Nelson Aguilar. He can handle it. I can, but he's been playing pretty good.
Yeah, he has. But I think we need a receiver to take that next step.
Yeah.
We know the Bengals are going to pass a lot. That's just going to be the game plan.
Joe Burrow's playing good. You have to admit Joe Burrow's playing good.
Joe Burrow's playing good. He hasn't played a team that has gone, wow, that's a great win.
Yeah.
But the Raiders were in there for the first half of the game against the Bengals.
I think expectations are way too high. I think we're at a point now where being that quarterback's amazing only comes in moments instead of an entire game. I think we only get a couple of those now. I think Lamar's one of those guys that's that was a great game, and Josh Allen's that was a great game.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of guys that they're lights out the entire game. And then when they are, they're doing great,
Yeah. No, I can see that.
Yeah.
But we know the Ravens secondary has issues. They just traded for Tre'Davious White off the Rams, which is a much needed piece.
I think it's going to help.
It's going to help, but he's not going to basically play this week.
He can't.
The trade went through, Tuesday,
4 hours ago.
4 hours ago, and then they have a game in less than 48 hours.
Yeah.
But so we know the Bengals are going to pass a lot. That means the Ravens are going to have to pass to keep up. This is the time for Deontay Johnson to finally shine.
So Deontay Johnson's your bet over receiving yards.
Yeah.
I'm not a coward. I'll actually bet the spread. I will take the Bengals plus 6.5. But I will not take it if it gets to 5.5. I have a 1 point difference.
Sure.
I like where it's at. I think this Ravens team is angry, but this is a divisional game, and I know how the Ravens play in divisional games. They want to play messy. They want to play it close. If you want to take the Bengals, if you really love the Bengals and you really think that they can win, take them plus 3.5. Move the line there. That's the lowest I would ever advise someone to take this because I do think the Ravens win this game.
I think, around 3.5 is where I expected this line to be considering.
So did I.
Considering the matchup, I'm wondering if Vegas knows something that I'm missing in this one, but these divisional games get gross.
Look.
The AFC North plays weird football when we play each other.
When you were doing your parade on the Bengals in September, and I was like, well, this is the September Bengals. This is what they do. And then I brought up the November stats and the December stats. Everything lines up perfectly for, all right, well, Joe Burrow won this Thursday night football game. The Bengals are back in it. And not that they're going to win the division, but they give Baltimore just enough of another speed bump to be like, damn, we can't take over the division. Because the second the Ravens do take over the division, it's over. They have the division.
Yeah, basically. It feels like it.
The Steelers are like, damn, we lost 2 games in a row, and the Ravens officially overtake it. It's over. The Ravens run away with the division. I think the Bengals are a bit of a speed bump. I do think the Ravens win, but the Bengals are going to be good for the next month. Bet on them.
Sure.
Giants, Panthers, the Germany game. It's going to be the least watched game on the planet.
Yeah, without a doubt.
We are sickos. I'm not waking up to watch this game on Sunday.
I'm curious to see how it goes.
Watch the second half.
Yeah, to see just the second half. That's all I really care about in this one. Yes, they are bad teams on paper, but people are still sleeping on the Giants, like how good that defense is. Daniel Jones isn't great, but he could get the ball to Neighbors, and Neighbors is an electric wide receiver.
So you're taking Neighbors prop?
I'm taking Daniel Jones over 199.5 passing yards.
That's gross.
That's where his line is right now.
I don't like that.
It feels weird, but no, I think Jones is going to be able to distribute the ball. Tyrone Tracy's going to be able to run the ball really well. This Panthers defense is not good.
Can I give you 2 words to change your mind?
Sure.
German grass. German grass, out of the NFL games that have been played in Germany, the grass has been a key figure in the gameplay.
It has been an issue.
Low scoring in Germany.
Yeah.
That's why I've decided to take the under.
I like that. I do like that.
The under. I think passing yards, I think you're going to be good. I just don't think points are going to be on the board. 41.5 is what I have it right now.
Yeah, I can see a lot of field goals in this game.
I can see 5 field goals in this game.
Yeah, and that's what I expect out of the Giants offense.
49ers, Buccaneers. We got the Buccaneers traveling to San Francisco or Santa Clara, wherever it's at. Look, they're getting 5.5 points, the 49ers. They're coming off a bye week. There's a flirtation going out there that Christian McCaffrey plays this game. I don't think he plays this game.
Coming out of beat reporters right now, they are expecting McCaffrey to play.
Oh, really?
Last week during their bye week, McCaffrey treated that as a non-bye week, went through an entire pregame prep throughout the week, and they said he would have been okay. The team doesn't have to officially report anything because it's the bye week, so take that as you will. But beat reporters were saying McCaffrey looked like he was going to. We won't know until end of day Wednesday when the 49ers official practice report comes out, but he was seen at practice today, Tuesday as well. So that means over a week of full practices for McCaffrey.
Look, the Buccaneers like to cover spreads.
Yeah.
I like Baker Mayfield, and he's playing his butt off. I like the 49ers way more, minus 5.5. But if that line gets to 7, if it kisses 7 or goes over, I'm taking the Buccaneers.
There's too many question marks on the 49ers weapons right now. We don't know Jawan Jennings' health. Like, yes, they're coming off bye, but we don't know where he sits. Debo is still listed as limited right now.
Jordan Mason as well
with his AC joint sprain. And McCaffrey, obviously. So I think the line is going to shift dramatically depending. And then Mike Evans on the Buccaneers side. We don't know if he's going to be back. He's flirting with coming back. A hamstring is either 1 week or it's 3 weeks.
Or it's the whole season.
We don't know with Mike. So seeing where those key guys shift in and out is going to move this line, I think. It's like each time news hits. For me, I'm taking Cade Otton at least 6 catches in this game. He has taken over that Chris Godwin kind of role for the Buccaneers offense. And the 49ers are really good at, like, their defense is strong.
They're good defense.
But they do allow a lot of underneath stuff because they like to play contain. They play a really good shell. Fred Warner is really good at playing 8 yards back and coming down and nailing you.
You don't think they're going to put Fred Warner on there because they're beat us with someone else?
I think they are going to have Warner, but Otton runs the crossing route that Godwin does.
Yeah.
That is tough for a linebacker to track across field and coverage like
coverage
that.
Backer
he is, but I think they're going to especially if Evans is out, they're going to force feed the ball to Otton as best as they can. He's had 8 or 9 catches last week, 7+ catches the week before. Like, he's going to be fed.
I like it. Let's go into the Patriots and Bears. When I was looking at the games, I was like, this is a dirty one. This one's disgusting. I think I have an edge on this game. The Patriots, Drake May, has been playing pretty well. Kind of impressed me. I've liked all 3 rookies.
That passer, Ramondre Stevenson, to send it to OT last week was insane.
Meanwhile, flip side, the Bears are in turmoil again. Eberflus has shown that he's not going to be the head coach at the end of this year.
Yeah, he's gone.
But I think they should keep him throughout the entire year. I do. I don't think they should fire him mid-season.
No, they need to for the consistency and develop of Caleb.
I think it's more of like you don't want to get an interim head coach and then get a little hot and then you're forced to keep him when there are better options. The Antonio Pierce method.
But we already see issues. DJ Moore quitting in the middle of a play last week.
DJ Moore on the radio broadcast yesterday where he was like, I wouldn't say the team's quit on the coach, but like it's bad.
The fact that question's being asked to a player shows the issues. Eberflus also has never won a road game on a Sunday.
Yeah, he's 3-19 road games and never won one on Sunday football.
Yeah, Sunday football. So it's just he's not a head coach caliber.
Yeah, 0-14 or something like that on Thursday, on Sundays on the road. But saying that, I'm taking the under 39.5 right now. I would take it all the way to 38, but anything other than that, I'm taking it over.
Sure. Yeah, these are stronger defensive-focused teams. That makes sense. For me, I'm taking Hunter Henry over 40.5 receiving yards in this one. He has become Drake May's go-to target. In the 3 starts May has, he has 5 catches, at least 5 catches in those 3 starts. 4 of those catches going for over 10 yards. So he is consistent. He is a safety blanket for May.
Yeah, the safety blankets is exactly who you like to target because you feel safer with those player props, right?
Because they just get the volume. Yeah. Like, it's a volume play.
One of the best games of the week, the Steelers versus the Commanders. 2 good teams. Steelers coming off a bye week. Commanders coming off a win, but like it was a little shaky. I get it was a divisional game against the Giants. But here we are. Pittsburgh starting the gauntlet.
Yeah, this is the first game of their gauntlet.
And look, the Commanders, they're planning on starting Marshawn Lattimore, the corner that they traded for, a position they really need. They feel like they're a Super Bowl contending team. They're going to push. They're really good. Brian Robinson is expected to start this week. He was out last week.
Yeah, finally coming back.
Really missed him in those tough run, short distance runs. Look, the Commanders should win this game, but I do think this 49ers or this Steelers defense is going to get in that face of Field or Jane Daniels, get in his face, rattle him. I think Russell Wilson is playing good enough. I think George Pickens is starting to emerge as his favorite target, and he's making big plays. He was targeted a couple times in the end zone last week. That just got ripped. I have the Steelers' money line in this. I think the Steelers are going to win this game.
I think it's an interesting one. Out of each of their last 5 matchups, so 10 combined, 9 matchups have been against very bad teams. Like, obviously, Washington played Baltimore. Take that to the side. But they've both played the Giants. Then you have the Jets before Devontae. Raiders, Dallas, Colts, Panthers, Bears, Browns. None of those are teams that scare me at this point.
Correct.
Like, none of those are a litmus test if these 2 winning record teams are real or not.
Yeah.
This is kind of it for me. I think coming up, Steelers, I'm worried Steelers are looking ahead. Because Steelers, for the rest of their games,
Division.
They have all their divisional matchups.
That's crazy. That's so crazy. That, like, the division with the most toughest and, like, blood drawn, to each other. They're like, we're just going to stack them for Thanksgiving. Have a good time. But I'm going to love it.
Yeah.
But that's crazy.
Out of their next 9 games in the season, 5 of them are against teams over 500 currently.
Yeah.
They have the Ravens, they have the Eagles, they have the Falcons, and then they play the Bengals twice, and the Bengals are under 500. So 7 of their next 9
I think by the time they play them, they'll be good.
Yeah, are scary matchups.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Steelers might be caught in this one looking ahead.
I disagree because they had the bye week. That was my initial thought as well. Mike Tomlin off the bye week. Have you seen the stat?
No, Mike Tomlin off the bye week is phenomenal.
Almost as good as Andy Reid.
I'm taking Washington first quarter points.
This is a unlike you bet.
I mean, so Steelers so far, they have lost their last 3 road games against NFC East teams who are on a 2+ game winning streak. They also have lost their first quarter scoring 3 out of their last 4 games when following a win. They shape it up by the end of the game. TJ gets going. The defense is there. Washington leads the league in expected points added on offense. Every play, they on average, a play adds 0.18 points total. That's
awesome.
Insane right now. I think they're not ready for Washington's explosiveness on offense, their play style. I think they're going to come out swinging. Steelers will have to adapt, and they will by the end of the game. But I'm liking first quarter points Washington, and I'm liking the over 45.5. I think if Washington gets going early, Steelers are going to have to score to catch up, and they finally have a team that can go put up points.
I don't hate this offense. Warren's healthy. Najee's running his butt off. Their offensive line is not fantastic, but they're blocking.
It's George who they've played is the issue.
Mike Williams, I understand that, but this is a different Steelers team than it was in the beginning of the year. We can really only judge them what they've been with Russell Wilson. And what they have been with Russell Wilson is a more competent offense.
More competent offense, but I feel the defense has taken a small step back because of that. It has.
But TJ Watt's playing
TJ Watt. Yeah, but I think the rest of the team has stepped back a little bit because of it, because they don't need to have the defense win a game outright. Yeah. This leaves that door open where for a couple weeks we can start taking some Steeler points.
I don't want to make this my pick of the week. You've been so wrong about the Steelers week in and week out that I can only feel like I have to double down. So I'm not going to say it's my pick of the week, but it's one of them. It's one of them.
Okay.
Lions, Texans. I feel like if Nico Collins does play this game's way more fun.
Nico is expected. His window is open already.
So then why are the Lions getting 3.5? Do they think the Lions are that dominant?
They think the Lions are that dominant. They went and made who do they just go pick up? Zadarius Smith off the Browns, who's expected to actually make a start here. He already has 5 sacks on the season.
Yeah.
Like he's not Aiden Hutchinson, but he's solid.
He'd be good. And the Lions are good. Dan Campbell's got the boys running. But Texans just lost, and I think Texans are going to hang in there a little bit.
Yeah. I can see them hanging around, especially with Nico back.
If Nico Collins plays, I'm taking the Texans with the spread. If he doesn't play, I'm taking the Lions with the spread. That's my pick right now.
That's fine with me. Right, for me, I'm taking Joe Mixon under 81.5 rushing yards in this one.
Under
for me. I think it's set a bit high based on who the Texans. So, yes, Mixon has cleared this line 5 out of 6 games he's played this year. Let me tell you who he's played. He has played the Colts twice.
Bad.
Second worst run defense in the league this season. Bad. He also played the Patriots. 6th worst run defense in the league this season. And the Jets, 10th worst run defense in the league this season.
Jets are 10th worst?
Jets are 10th worst against the run. They shut down the pass. They are a top 10 pass defense team. They cannot contain the run. That was why they got Hassan Reddick.
That makes sense.
To contain that. That was their issue.
And he's not there.
Their other 2 matchups was against the 14th and 12th best. We had a Jordan Love coming back game, which was a sloppy game. Texans were able to run the ball. And then you had the Bears, where he went the under. Right now, Lions are one of the better run defense teams. They get in your face. They shut down the line of scrimmage, and they score. The only time he's gone over against a top half-ranked defense, Mixon had to get 25 carries to clear an 81.5 line against the Packers.
Don't love that.
I don't think he gets 25 carries.
I don't think he gets 25 carries.
Not in a game where the Lions will score. The Lions are going to score.
25 carries is a lot.
That's a lot of carries.
I love that bet.
Yeah, that's the issue. Bet. And then that was the day also where Stroud was 10 for 21.
Yeah, it was
so
very
Stroud
bad.
was under 50% throwing.
Day.
That was the only way that they were able to move the ball was Mixon, and they just kept force feeding him the ball.
Yeah, and they're gonna have to throw the ball against the Lions.
And if Nico's back, I feel even more confident.
Dolphins, Rams, Monday Night Football, a game that feels like it's built for fireworks.
This is what the NFL wishes they could book in primetime consistently is these kind of offenses.
And they're both healthy. Healthy. Yeah.
Everyone's back. For some reason, Tua, have you seen the discrepancy of Tua, just normal helmet, and then Achane with the Guardian cap?
Yeah,
it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, they don't care. Achane's insane, by the way. Every time he touches the ball, I'm like, that guy's crazy.
Yeah.
I think we're getting a Tyreek Hill correction game. I know he had 80 yards, but I think it's time for the boom game. Puka Nacua, back. Cooper Kupp, back.
Waddle's healthy.
This team's ready to go. Over-under is 50.5. They want me to take the over.
Yeah, they want fireworks.
Really want me to bet the over. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to bet the over 50.5.
For me, I don't like this one. I feel gross taking this pick.
I like gross picks. They're my favorite ones.
Because I'm chasing.
I took an under on a Maction right now. I'm not even looking at the score. When I left, it was halftime 6-0. The over-under was 57.
Wow. I'm taking DeMarcus Robinson to get a tutty.
Don, that's not gross.
He has 4 in the last 2 weeks, and I'm chasing it.
But
that's where I feel gross. But he is the perfect, everyone forgets about him around the end zone guy.
Puka's back. And last week, he didn't play.
He didn't play until Puka went down, but in competitive games we saw earlier in the season when Kupp and Puka were healthy for the first couple of weeks, Robinson was the red zone guy because defenses sold out on Puka, Kupp, and Kyren.
Yeah.
Dolphins have an okay run defense. Like, they are able to stuff the line. I think if they get into the red zone, a fade out to Robinson is going to be the call.
No, I don't like that.
No, it feels gross. I don't like it either, but this
like this pick that much? On a scale from 1 to 5, how confident are you in this pick?
Skill 1 to 5, like 2. But it's something that has enough plus money that I'm like, I'll swing on it.
I hear you. I'll take that. Question of the day. This one's quick and simple.
Sure.
At what age did you realize you were never going to become a pro athlete? Like, what's the honest age?
Honest age?
Because my age is probably a little bit scarier than others. My number's like 16.
Okay. Like, for me, it was like 12. But that's when
across all athletics?
But that's when I had, like, one of my first injuries, and that's when my legs started locking up.
Yeah.
Like, where I was, like when I would do
like
swim
6'2" at 12.
Yeah, like I broke 6 foot in the 6th grade.
Yeah,
like but no, that's when my leg really started like it would just like it locked into place a couple times, and that's when I was like, oh yeah, like there's no way a pro team would take a risk on that.
No, yeah.
Like, and that was the big reason why.
I hear you. Mine was 16. I was just like on the football team one day, and I was like, I'm not good on this team, let alone a college team, let alone a pro team. I was like, I remember sitting on the bench and just being like, oh, this is over.
Yeah,
this is, and
that was it.
It was bad. It was not good, but yeah, just a little sadness there. Last thing, pick of the week, Don. My pick of the week, I go to college. I'm going to dip into it, make it real quick.
Sure.
I'm taking Iowa after a loss against Texas Tech, which was my pick of the week last week. Iowa -3 against Kansas. Kansas, good team. They stay in fights. They don't win games. Iowa, awful loss. Trying to get in the playoff. Give me Iowa -3.
Sure. For me, I'm coming back to the Ravens-Bengals game. I'm taking Chase Brown under 60.5 rushing yards.
Ooh.
Last week, he set a career high in touches and in yards.
It's very good back.
But it also took the Bengals 71 offensive snaps to get him there. It was their season high in snaps. I think this comes back down to earth. Ravens have the number one run defense, hold opposing backs to average of 53 yards on the ground, 3.4 yards a carry. Bengals are the 8th ranked team in neutral pass rate. They throw 60% of the time in a neutral game script. I think they're going to increase it more, knowing the Ravens' secondary issues. They're not going to run the ball more. And we know Brown's not the answer because they just went and traded for
Khalil Herbert.
Khalil Herbert.
It was very good back. With not a lot of... He has like 9 carries this whole year.
I don't think Herbert's going to get involved too much. Short week, it's just not going to happen.
He's not going to get involved this week.
But the Bengals know he's not going to be... Chase Brown's going to be the guy long term.
Well, Zach Moss is also hurt. I think that was like more of a depth pick.
It was more, but you don't go and get a... You don't go pay what they paid for a depth piece.
I'm taking your pick of the week no matter what. You give me a pick of the week, I'm taking it.
So I think, Chase Brown under 60.5.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Bust Picks, episode 48. Well, 50's coming up soon. My name is Dio. That is Don. And remember, pray for the parlays.